I'm a man.
This is Past the Rock.
Oh, getting spicy with
And we're
soundboard.
back. We're
Hit him with
back.
the remix.
So we did miss, obviously, some pretty important stuff last week in the world of college football. So without further ado, I'm gonna re-hand this thing right back off to Bethke to walk us through what we got this week.
Well, I'm a two-way player, just like Travis Hunter, our new Heisman Trophy winner.
He goes to the house.
He has made it. I don't know who you guys were rooting for or betting on in certain cases. For me, it was pretty simple. I think this meme actually that I found on the internet was pretty easy. Advanced analytics he's above average. I mean, you could argue he could be drafted top 15 at both positions. I get it, but that boy was trucking and fucking against 8-man boxes.
Now, let's not forget. For 8 quarters, he was sat. He could have shattered the record if that coaching staff had the foresight earlier in the season. Just be like, hey, we got something special going.
And I think his NFL salary is going to be grateful they didn't make him do that later on in life, probably. But I do say this is kind of the big deal. This is just a microcosm of college football in general of how you're supposed to compare things that literally never even cross over. So it's a tough one. I didn't have a problem with either one of them winning it, but I can see why someone who's legitimately that good at 2 positions should probably go ahead and get that award.
Yeah, and of course there was the other topic when it comes to the Heisman Trophy this year.
Why didn't Genty go out and try to play safety? What's he doing?
Yeah, are you a middle linebacker? I don't know. He's kind of a small guy, right?
Save him a little bit. So.
Yeah, so look, poor guy didn't win, but he got close. Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, they showed up. They were in attendance.
That's still really cool, man.
Wasn't this the closest Heisman vote in quite some time?
Very possibly. Did not actually watch the live broadcast of this, as I don't know if I've watched the broadcast of the Heisman.
I know that the
probably
first
Colt McCoy losing it.
552
I want to say
309.
All right. Yeah, because I could have sworn that the first place votes was like heavily in the favor of Travis Hunter, but then the rest of the votes came around.
No, there have been some pretty close ones. Mark Ingram only got it by 28 points over Toby Gerhart. Bo Jackson.
Yeah, but this is like when
points.
I said in a while, not like all the time.
Yeah, sorry. So since 2009.
Toby Gerhart.
Yeah.
Yeah, since 2009, that's great. All right.
Because that's even the top 4. I mean, Sue, who arguably should have won it, got 4th place.
Sam Bradford. Was the Sam Bradford year?
No, this is the Mark Ingram, Gerhart, Colt McCoy, Dominican Sue.
Yeah.
Man, that was almost the coolest year of college football.
Almost. Yeah. That was pretty much it for the Heisman. Of course, everyone will be excited to see where Travis Hunter ends up and where he's playing and blah, blah, blah when it comes there. But there was, of course, one other thing that everybody kept talking about a lot and got into just the worst parts of sports conversation is Travis Hunter's girlfriend.
I only heard a little bit about this, but I didn't really understand. No one really explained whatever had happened on camera to make people talk, so I don't really know what was going on.
I saw one clip where she maybe was kind of going back and forth with him while he was doing a meet and greet with fans, and maybe I guess that began the misconstruing. But then she's also been apparently in the time since been trying to give more information to people, thinking that it will make them act logical, which is exactly not what people are going to do.
Fair.
So I think there's a bit of exaggeration, bit of exacerbation, not a great situation all around.
Not as funny as was it CD who had to take his phone away?
Yeah, CD was different, right?
That was a good.
So CD, that one's a funny one, but that one, yeah. So I think actually the more classic example is Russell Wilson's.
I don't remember anything about that.
Google that. Google Russell Wilson girlfriend draft, and I guarantee you get the image that I always see posted on Twitter.com or x.twitter.x.com, whatever.
It's funny 'cause some of these actually look like stock photographs that they'd put in something, especially him on the phone or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's quite the photo.
Oh, man. I can't tell if these are edited or not.
I don't know either. I remember her face being very expressionary in the moment, but
close to looking like a Scream mask almost.
It really is. It probably has been digitally altered just a touch, if I'm guessing. But either way, that's the Heisman Trophy.
Imagine if they made it better.
That was the Heisman Trophy for you boys. Nothing too much more special to go on, unless you have any more awards.
See me doing the Heisman pose at the same
time. The Heisman. Initially, some people thought that the brand you're wearing might have had a Heisman Trophy candidate in it, and that was not even close.
Didn't play out that way, and that's okay, because the only thing that really matters is something that neither of those guys, well, the Heisman winner won't have a chance at all. So
that is true. So we're going to get into catching up on title races. The title games are what we should have caught up on last week. Pretty much a dead week in bowl games. Otherwise, right now, we do have the bowl games that are going on. We'll get into some of those, at least basically. Here's my hint on the other notable bowl games I'm going to be talking about. The ones that I thought were the funniest names. So just understand that if it wasn't funny, that's all that mattered. The Mountain West Championship was the first one that we witnessed. It was pretty much, I guess it was a
disrespect to Conference USA.
Conference USA probably happened before. Conference USA has
an hour before.
it had no consequence. So
isn't that Deion's old school?
Jacksonville State. No, that's two different schools. It's two different
Jacksonville
schools.
State?
Jackson State.
Yeah, because his was like blue and white.
Yeah, Jackson State is where he was at before going to Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I was trying to give him some credit.
Heisman loser. He didn't know this at the time, but he went Ashton Chinty. He went 32 carries, 200 yards, one tutty. 21-7 Boise wins. Nothing too special other than this pretty hilarious moment where a little trolling occurred. So the quarterback of the UNLV Rebels said that he didn't even know where Boise was. So every time anything happened, they would bring it up on Google Earth. Sacked by the blue, there's coordinates.
The pin of being sacked on the blue is absolutely hilarious.
So yeah, that was pretty good by the social team there.
Quality trolling.
I also ask you, when you're going to the combine, do you look at this as a potential? Is this good or bad? What do we think? That was smooth. That was a smaller guy.
Doing it with pads on, no matter what size you are, doing that with pads on. You know, you could practice it all you want, but you're not practicing with pads on probably. So
true.
Ozzie Smith looked really cool when he did it, but he didn't play a sport where I thought that was going to impact him negatively like it might in football. But
yeah, well,
hey, you won your conference. Why wouldn't you do a backflip?
I have interesting suspicions when it comes to how Genty's going to do at the pro days and the combines and stuff like that. But clearly a very, very good athlete. So I'm sure that there will be a lot of those boxes checked. American Athletic Conference. This was a pretty funny one for me, obviously. Anytime Army gets on the field, except for when it's at the hands of my Mean Green, are usually pretty funny to look at. Not because maybe the game is fun to watch, but the box scores of an Army game.
How many drives of 10-plus minutes they can get in a game.
It's really like some of the best sports porn in the world is looking at an Army box score. because you're talking about 35-14 win over the Tulane fucking Green Wave, whatever.
Which that's
right?
not it's no one to scoff at.
Not a bad school. Quarterback transferred out, whatever. Big deal. Bryson Daly, quarterback of Army, 2 for 2 on passes, totaling 17 yards. The team running the ball, 338 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Just basically playing rugby with all intents and purposes.
Yeah, that's good old classic right there.
That is Army football. That's also
incredible.
not a great thing to do when you're trying to beat somebody ever at any time. No! You're brought now. Fuck it. I don't know what you're supposed to do there, but I know it's not that. I feel pretty good about it.
I guess I guess what he's thinking is if he kicks that, it's immediately getting blocked and it's going behind him versus we can just put him down right here if they just grab this ball.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was the right thing to do. It just doesn't look like the right
hilarious.
thing to do.
I only cut it off because it looked hilarious, yeah.
We aren't going to spoil too much of anything by saying this, but Army also lost the Navy in the Army-Navy game. Am I wrong? Did that not happen?
Yeah.
Happen. I don't know who won. The Navy midshipmen beat the Army Black Knights 31-13.
So there you go, Army.
Navy scored a touchdown in each quarter.
You didn't get. That's all it takes is just a couple of tutties. Yeah. I mean, there you go, Army. You didn't get shunned from any postseason play for any reason that.
I mean, it couldn't have possibly happened though. Selection happens before that game, so.
Yeah, true.
Were they going to select them and then tell them, never mind?
I would hope so in that case.
Let Bama in now.
Yep, gotta let Bama in. The Big 12 game. This one, I honestly picked completely wrong. I did feel good about it being the old tide kind of handling in, but Kenny Dillingham might be the real guy. He might be actually out here trying to coach some people, trying to be one of these names, maybe get a bigger job.
It's pretty crazy that the Big 12 has fallen to a noon conference championship game.
It makes a ton of sense to me.
Maybe it's been that way and I just don't remember. Because Big Noon isn't usually a Big 12 game, is it?
I'm showing you guys this because I need you guys to understand the vision. This was actually the soft launch of the future of the Dallas Cowboys because look right here. There's a lot of talk about Ashton Jeanty being the number 1 pick for the Dallas Cowboys, but the Cowboys need bigger things.
Dude, this guy.
So the value play is Scatabo. Look at the Scatabo. Look at the Scatabo run.
Yeah, that's a.
Have you ever seen the Eagles try to tackle running backs? Now throw this guy at him. Oh my God, this is going to be absolutely a fun time. Yeah, you're going to see how a white boy runs a football. All right, Steve. Scatabo is coming for you.
I'm not too worried.
This is the Scatabo. Here's the Scatabo. Lower the Scatabo. Yeah, so
that guy can run real hard. That's going to be.
I'm excited. I want the Dallas Cowboys to take 2 running backs, and I want him to be one of them because his career may not last long, but it's gonna be a fucking blast. That he gives me. We've been trying to manifest Marion Barber's energy, and people have kind of gotten a little in over their skis over the current running back being on that level. This guy could be the true heir to the CTE throne, and I'm really excited about the potential of Scatabo, and I hope he doesn't go to a rival if he doesn't be a Dallas Cowboy. Because
listen, I don't want to speak this into the nether, but he does strike me as somebody that a Cal Shanahan would fuck around and get in the.
No, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, like this. Look at this guy. Tell me he would not do that same thing to a bunch of people wearing Stars helmets. You know what I mean? I've seen that in the stadium. I need it on my side. That's just nasty. Just a nasty ass runner. All right. Well, that was fun.
Just to clarify, because I'm a big old idiot, it looks like they've been kicking that game off at noon for a long time now. So
Nice. I remember they had the night games at some point. I think maybe when they've had better games, like I remember Nebraska, Texas being a night game.
I don't think it was. I was there.
I think that was towards the night.
Feels like it might, and I can't for some reason. This one doesn't tell me what time this game is.
Either way.
Anyways, yeah.
To segue into the similar thing, not bury the lead too much, the SEC championship game happened. It was a dogfight, and the Dogs came out on top. 22-19 Dogs. There was a lot of times where it should have been an early kind of maybe potentially dominant Texas win. That kind of fell to the wayside quickly.
Miss kicks, lack of scoring in the red zone.
Then potentially a Georgia quarterback injury saves Georgia's ass.
Yeah.
And basically gives them what they need. There was a little bit of funny stuff at the end for Texas to make this one closer than it maybe could have been for a bit there at the end. But again, it feels like the babysitter offense is just an issue again.
Yeah, we kind of hope these weeks off of a refresh Quinn can reset some things. That's kind of the hope.
I mean,
if we make the playoff, we'll get there.
If it happens, I didn't really write down the previews too much, but we'll do it as we go.
I'm just teasing like we don't know, like we haven't talked about who's in the playoff yet.
Oh, that's true. It's not like we haven't known for a week and a half. There were some good throws and good catches here. This was a really good play. I'm not highlighting it because of the Texas thing. I just love Kirby Smart. Like, look at Kirby.
He's out there
stay with
Mike
the play.
Tomlin this thing.
Stay with the play, Kirby. Stay with the play. He's a linebacker.
Funny. I didn't see that.
He's a linebacker. So anyway, this is.
I should say I watched this game on the Skycast, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. No announcers.
Oh well, yeah. Kirk Herbstreit not getting pissed off about the future of America.
I gotta pull up because I wanted to tell you guys what the full title of this clip is on my end.
So, as you saw, Carson Beck, I believe, fucked his shoulder up pretty badly. Not awesome. And then, boom, there's the backup quarterback getting
leveled right in the face.
Literally knocked out. And that was, when that play happened, I already knew the game was over, basically, because that sealed the game for them, essentially. There was no chance they weren't scoring after that. But
nope, there wasn't.
Just want to go back to this one real quick. I called it the hardest hit ever. This QB got rocked. How did Hill not get ejected and banned for life? Just because I thought it was really weak, roughing the passer call.
It was. Yeah, I mean, really, the issue here is he lays on the body so it hurts, and his knee kicks the shit out of the helmet, putting it into the ground. So not ideal, but, like, ultimately, what do you want him to do?
No, and I've seen way more egregious and harder hits.
Yes. This is the game-winning touchdown. This one is very unfortunate because I think as much as you can say you knew it was going to happen, let's also not forget about. I mean, it's a tired defense. It's unfortunate.
It's not fair to that defense for them to be in that position at all.
It's not. And the ultimate part is it just sucks that it was a running back gut because there is no passing option for Georgia. They have no quarterback at this point. There is only run plays. But I do think ultimately Texas looks like a piss poor defense out of context on that play because they were completely gassed. This was just, there's a little push, but it's mostly just gas. Really talented defense, but gassed. We will see what the future holds for the Texas Longhorns. Maybe a different path now. A little bit harder. A lot of games you have to play to win a title now.
I think honestly, this game gave Texas an easier path by losing it, just because.
The thing is, Texas needs to hope to avoid Georgia because I just don't think they can beat Georgia. We've seen it twice now. I just don't think they got it.
I mean, they beat Georgia. They just didn't make 2 kicks, so it's not like Georgia's.
So they didn't beat Georgia,
but it's not like Georgia just kicked their ass. It's not.
No, but it's better.
It's obviously a toss-up. It's in any given week when they play. You don't know what's going to happen.
It was better, but the Achilles heel of the Texas program is still the Achilles heel, and it was just it's not just to say he's awful. It's not to say he's dragging the team down. It's just to say that Quinn Ewers and the offense, I don't care who's truly more responsible. They are letting the team down on a consistent basis. They are just easy. They're predictable. They're talented as hell. They have a great offensive line. So I really don't understand where this is coming from. But
I should have clipped off the fun package with Arch where they do the direct snap through Arch's legs.
Yeah, that was an awesome little play. Cool. There's plenty of innovation. That's what I'd like to see.
They should have done more of in that Georgia game was just throw them out there just because they don't know what you're going to do with it a couple times. When you see that the ball, you can't move it, you got to try something else.
I just think a lot of the quick passes are a terrible idea against Georgia. They are so much better at other teams to getting their hands up.
A bit of an overcommitment to running up the middle, I might say as well, but
I mean, look how many times they're able to swat down passes in a game, if not completely get to Quinn Ewers. They understand how to play Quinn Ewers more than anyone else. They don't look at him as any sort of challenge, and it may not just be him, maybe everything else, but they are swatting passes down. They know what's coming. Like they know what's coming. It's obvious as day. But Kirby's a smart coach, and he's got a great program. They may not be quite as dominant at every position as they once were a couple years back, but their defense sure as fuck is. This is one parting note that I will give you. Kirby Smart, just funny guy. Please note to listen to Kirby, but look at the old man to, I guess, the right of the screen, left of the screen. The man standing to the side of the screen, not obviously Kirby or the interviewer.
The first round bye, what does that mean for you?
Well, it means rest for a team that Greg Sankey and his staff sit on the road all year long. We get to take a little bit of break and get ready for college football playoff. This team needs some rest mentally. Need a little.
I thought at first you were talking about the guy at the beginning who looks like he's doing like a fake interview next to him.
No,
I didn't know that was coming up.
I guess I hadn't seen that clip in a week, so I forgot exactly where it came in. But yes, towards the end, you would have seen a gentleman staring into the abyss in a suit.
Is that not Mitch McConnell?
That was Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, and someone that Kirby Smart clearly was not pleased with for the Georgia Bulldogs schedule this season. Even though, again, Kirby, 2 of your games this season were played in Atlanta, Georgia, not Athens, Georgia, which is really like as close to home field advantage as you can get without actually doing it. Like,
yeah,
Texas doesn't even have that big of an advantage whenever they play at fucking the Cotton Bowl. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's a little different, but still. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, it's funny. I like the jab. And I love whenever someone's on top of the game and then they're like, hey, you're the guy who's got to hand me the trophy. Thank you for the trophy and suck a dick publicly. That's why Kirby Smart's currently the head of the table at the SEC. And Sarkisian's too nice of a guy. I think he has to play into that with the rehabilitation thing in his past. But I gotta love the energy Kirby gives me. I just gotta admit it.
I don't hate Kirby Smart.
No, that's the thing. It's like he's annoyingly likable.
He's fine. He's obviously a good coach.
But he's really entertaining. Like he's like very underrated entertaining for the coaching profession it is. Penn State, Georgia, Big Ten championship. 45-37 Ducks. Lots of scoring in the first half, not so much in the second. Clean, burning, fuel-efficient Oregon Ducks football. Look at this right here. We got a little hurdle action coming for you.
Awesome. You'll see where I tried to recreate the thing where you have like a film wheel and you can just spin it back and forth.
Yeah.
I did a pretty poor job of it.
Honestly, it's not that bad. I think it was pretty good. Yeah, no, that was just a great look. The Oregon Ducks, Big Ten champions.
Dude, they're nuts for a while.
Yeah, I mean, NIL is really just opened up the world for them, but they're going to have to deal with the five-star
Yeah, I
fuckboy
was gonna say,
syndrome.
it's interesting now that they're in the Big Ten though, because now they actually have some real competition versus they might have had USC if they stuck in the Pac-12, but I think that would have dwarfed them quickly.
Not as gimmicky of an offense anymore. They have a real defense under Dan Lanning, so they've definitely rebuilt the program in a manner that I think is more positive for the Oregon Duck dominance to actually come to fruition. I think we've been potentially wondering if Oregon could ever actually rise to the top of college football and stay at the top and be dominant. This looks like the first chance for them to do so. We shall see. Clemson SMU ACC championship game. Final one we will go through. No highlights from this one. As it was 24-7 at halftime, Clemson looked like they were running the Mustangs out of the building and laughing at them for even being in the same conference. Not so fast, my friend. SMU comes roaring back, and Clemson ends up needing a game-winning field goal to win it 34-31. Dabo Swinney, not a friend of the program, ends up saying that SMU deserves to be in the college football playoff at the end of the game because of how excited he was and how pumped up he was at the competition level. So I thought that was interesting of note. Probably also just Dabo trying to take a shot at somebody else. Probably just maybe Dabo being like, Alabama, fuck you.
He does like that, but also he doesn't want to be in a position where he loses a conference championship game and doesn't get in. So
definitely that too. And so, yeah, that definitely tips you to a couple of the people who will be playing in the playoff. But before we get to that, I have a couple of things that, Pat's picks still going to happen. We have 3 things here to end our season. The weirded, the obscure of college football. Patrick, you have delivered once again to finish the season. The obscurity is harder to get now. It's hard to get obscure this part of the year.
Well, the thing is now with bowl games, I don't know if the place I collect them from is going to be as easy to grab, but there'll be more eyes on teams that don't normally have eyes on them. So I might get some weirder stuff in the next couple of weeks. We'll see.
Well, we hope so, but the regular season we will consider now over. This is the last Pat's pick of the regular season. We have San Diego State tip drill to start off. South Dakota State, Tarleton State. We got FCS football right here. YOLO. What? Oh, my God. It bounced off his chest and into the man's hands. Oh, my God.
And it's a real catch. They looked at it and everything. It's really close. I like that red. Beautiful. I like that red end zone. That looks nice.
Did the red end zone help with the video evidence not being overturned?
Well, you'd think, yeah, you'd have a bright red versus a brown. It's gonna be pretty easy to see, right?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Either way, I still love this. This is a college football ass play for real. Because that's just not how the coach drew it up whatsoever. But YOLO happened and YOLO delivered. Beautiful. Idaho's weird dome. What do you mean weird? Idaho's one of the greatest programs in college football history.
Just wait for this because it looks like a normal football game. And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, am I in the Alamo Dome?
You're in a dome, yeah.
It's a weird one, though. Look at these shots right here. That's a weird...
This is the practice facility.
No end zone sitting. End zone seats at all. What are we doing?
You have not seen the Idaho Vandals football stadium. It's one of the best. It's actually one of the things people are most upset with about college football games that just came out. Because Idaho Vandals were not in there.
They don't have that little barn.
Yeah.
That doesn't have seats in the end.
Whenever the last college football game. The last college football game that ever existed, I made the Idaho Vandals a dynasty because I love that little dome so much. It's just funny. And it's funny as hell to think of a college football team just running up the score in that little fucking that's literally what Jerry has for practice and for high school football games. And then the final. Sticking against, so you had Tarleton State, then Idaho. Idaho not local, but they're close to my heart, so I'll count it. And then Abilene Christian here, not too far away. Go pay heavy tuition to go live out in the middle of nowhere, but you might get a really good job and some brainwashing after. Yeah, that's to the
Yeah.
house.
Hell yeah.
It's just a nice long run.
Yeah, where's
Oh.
Ashton Genty's 90-yard touchdown run?
Wrapped in that for fun.
Should have been a Heisman. Beautiful. The obscure, the chaotic, they're all on representation when Patrick's picks come in the door. Committee met. They decided on a bracket. We have a bracket. Everyone's known about the bracket. We're going to pick the bracket.
Sort of.
But let's pretend like we have no idea at this point. And really, I want to start this off by looking at this video here, which will replace me perfectly.
I hate this so goddamn much.
This is the group of people who picked the college football playoff. There are various people. I don't know who all of them are. I just find it to be a funny room. You see the Perriers in the hands instead of beers.
See, the biggest problem, and they'll cut away from it immediately, if they're actually trying to watch multiple games at the same time on different sized TVs like that to decide who's... Kill me.
Look, so you think Bama gets the primary TV? Like, they got the Big 12 game on. Come on.
Well, I guess with these, there's not a ton... Well, there are some crossovers. But it's like, can you not watch them individually? Isn't that...
I mean, there are a lot of TVs. There's a TV behind the TV. There's a TV there. You look, there's a little TV on the side. There's a room of TVs over there for some
These
reason.
aren't serious people.
But did you see the college football thing on the table there? Look at my man. You see the? Did you see it?
No, one more time. Sorry.
So the little bar top. There's a guy in a blue like zip up.
Who is that?
Or in between the two blue zip up guys. You see, there's on the table. There's a little college football. No, it's not a trophy. It's just like a little logo.
It's the logo, yeah.
That they printed out and put on the table as
I
a
don't mind
dressing.
that.
Anyway, so
like
that's
the
where the committee
simplicity of
is.
that logo, so.
They are at the Gaylord Texan, right? I think that's where they do it every year.
Yeah, sounds right.
And so yeah, all of this is local. We're just the epicenter of college football, aren't we?
Yeah.
Or
That's why
we just
the
where
national
rich people like to
championship going to
party.
come out of DFW, baby.
I think that well, maybe there's a DFW. There's an Austin level fight going on pretty soon. Let's start this. There's an
8% chance Dallas could be host of the national champion.
There are 2 days? 2 days from now, the first college football playoff game will go on. So by the time we meet again, there will be quite an escalation.
Friday,
in college football.
yeah. Indiana Notre Dame on Friday.
You can throw that up. That's
I
fine.
thought it said on here where the games.
Well, no, I have that information. So on Friday, we will get Indiana Notre Dame, as Caesar said. That one's probably going to be an interesting one, especially to see the way people are going to want to vote on that. Those are two teams that most people would basically pick against in any other game. Now they're playing each other, so obviously that's funny. Nothing too controversial for me about Notre Dame. I think they're a good team, but obviously I understand people don't love the conference thing. Big 12 SEC, they're the best conference. Of course, they're going to have a lot of representatives. Indiana's a good team. Probably not a great one, though.
You know what's funny to me is seeing Clemson win the ACC championship game and then still get the lower seeding to their opponent from the game. Love that.
There was a lot of funny decisions made, but I really think I'm not mad because this kind of worked out in a way that I'm like, I'm fine with it. Like, let Indiana Notre Dame work themselves out instead of them being like gimme games for somebody else. I respect that. Saturday, we're going to have 3 games. We're going to start with SMU Penn State. Not a game that people are going to expect the Stangs to be in. It's also potentially, is there snow possibility going down in Pennsylvania? That's also very likely this time of year. Could be a tough one for the Stangs. Penn State, sure, they've been known to goof up, but man, Penn State has an opportunity here, right? Penn State is looking at the upstart SMU Mustangs and the happy to be here Ashton Genty led Broncos before they get into what could be a much more difficult part of the playoff, right? I mean, who knows who they're facing at that point? Probably Georgia, right? So that'll be an interesting one for the Nittany Lions, who also know that their quarterback will be coming back. Drew Allar announced that he's going to forego the the NFL draft. Texas Clemson will be the next game. This is going to be a rematch of a high school football rivalry where the two quarterbacks were two of the biggest names to come out of high school quarterbacking in the state when they were there. Both have had kind of up and down careers. Obviously, we talked about Quinn. Cade Klubnik has kind of been the same situation. He was in Austin Westlake, Quinn at South Lake Carroll. So it'll be an interesting game. Clemson, Texas playing for the first time ever in football or something like that. Wasn't there some goofy shit? Battle of the Orange?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I guess technically.
No previous matchups. Yeah, that's
yeah.
crazy.
So this will be the first time. Dabo's boys. We kind of wrote them off. We talked a lot of shit. Patrick, is there a world where I've talked so much shit the Clemson Tigers fuck the Texas Longhorns season up? Yes. I don't know. It's definitely possible. There's
no team in this playoff that I think couldn't lose to any other team. I think everyone could lose. Yeah. I mean, no one's that good this year, so maybe Oregon, but
yeah. Even if you wanted to make the argument for Oregon, they have they definitely got the shit into the stick when it comes to matchups. Potentially, it feels like
it is an interesting path that some of these teams might have to follow.
It feels a lot like Georgia got a very favorable draw.
I don't know, man.
Not that they needed it. Well, it doesn't.
I think Clemson, Arizona State feels like a favorable draw, but
potentially, yeah. I mean, I do think that there is some of that. I just think that I don't trust Texas as much as I would trust Georgia to just manhandle some of these groups.
Because as you go further down the bracket that Georgia's at, right, the further you go along, I'm like, yeah, I just don't see how any of these teams match up physically with Georgia, because we've known Notre Dame to be a paper tiger our entire lifetimes. Indiana, dude, I don't trust Indiana to go past the first round. Then you go Penn State and SMU. And SMU, they can make things really interesting. They have an exciting offense. But are they going to match up physically with Georgia? I don't know, because I don't know that they've recruited to have those kinds of kids in their program. And so that just leaves you with Penn State and Boise State. And I just feel like that's kind of an easier path to take than whatever has to go in the other side of the bracket. I feel like the other side of the bracket's a lot tougher.
And I guess if you're just looking at it on paper, it feels that way. But then when you factor in the elephant in the room of can Georgia score any points anymore, that's going to be an interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a world where we've drastically underrated Notre Dame and really given them more shit than maybe they deserve. But I do
Northern Illinois and win a national title. I just don't think.
Honestly, though, dumber things may have happened, so we will see. I'm still in the hesitancy game when it comes to Notre Dame, but I do feel like there's some things about this program that feel a little more upgraded than the Brian Kelly era.
No, for sure. And I mean, I think if this year's Clemson is the lowest seed, this is a pretty solid group of 12 teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. So that'll be the first round. That's going to take place this weekend. That will leave us without college football playoffs until the 31st, which is a Tuesday. Yeah. So a Tuesday and Wednesday is when we're going to get to the bowl games. If you're not familiar, these games are going to be played at the home stadiums. It's a weird little thing that maybe won't last forever, but for now, that's how it's going to be. And then Texas will go on, so basically the winner of Texas Clemson would go on to play Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. Boise State would go on to play Penn State or SMU in the Fiesta Bowl. The Rose Bowl will be Oregon versus Ohio State and Tennessee winner. And then the Sugar Bowl will be Georgia versus Notre Dame and the Indiana winner.
So Georgia still gets a home game.
No, Sugar
Bowl is not.
Sugar Bowl is not Georgia. Sugar Bowl is New Orleans.
Okay.
Yep.
Sugar Bowl is New Orleans. Peach Bowl is Georgia.
Yeah.
Fiesta Bowl will be Arizona. Rose Bowl, California.
California.
So So what we need to do now, and I'm going to try to explain this because I don't know if I did a good enough job, is we're going to live pick, we're all going to pick at least 3 of the first round games. So you see the spreads there on the bottom.
I'm willing to pick them all.
I need you to pick 2 spreads, and then just pick one straight winner or loser of the other 2 games.
All
right. So you're making me be a real degenerate here. Okay.
You just have to say, do you think Notre Dame's going to win by 7 or more or not? Or whoever you want to pick. But
I'll take the Penn State spread.
Okay. Yeah. So you got Penn State covering 8.5 over SMU?
Yes, that's my bold take. Because I don't trust the other games enough. And then I'll go Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame.
What? I need you to pick one more against the spread. And then just one straight up. We're not doing all 4 because I wanted to make it the math work out. So
okay. All right. So then
just pick one more spread.
One more spread. Fuck, I don't want to do another spread.
I know it's tough.
Because I definitely don't believe in Texas covering. I do sort of think there's a world where Ohio State can cover, but I really don't trust them at all either. Fuck. Okay, I guess by default I have to trust the Golden Domers, which sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever said in my life.
I mean,
so I'm going Golden Domers.
You pick someone who you don't think is gonna win, but will cover.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's how spreads. Yeah, that's how spreads work.
Okay, Ohio State to cover in a loss?
No, they would have to win. Tennessee could cover in a loss if they pull within 6 or less.
Oh, okay. No. Then I'm going to. Ugh. Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll take Clemson covering, I guess.
All right, and then of the other 2 games, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Notre Dame, Indiana, pick one of those winners. Just one winner.
I'm gonna go with the Domers. I feel good about the Domers.
And then between your picks, which of those 3 would you like to make worth double points? Which one are you most confident in?
I think Penn State will beat the shit out of SMU.
All right.
Yeah.
Caesar, do you follow?
No. All right. So
I mean,
you said three against the spread and 1 straight up.
2 against the spread, 1 straight up.
2 against the spread, 1 straight up. I'm gonna go ahead and make my straight up pick be SMU over Penn State.
You think SMU's winning straight up?
Yes. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna live life on the edge on this one, like a real degenerate. All right, and then
spreads, yeah.
And then we're going on my spreads, right? And so we got Notre Dame, Indiana, right? Give me Indiana to cover the spread.
Okay.
And then the other game is...
There's 2 more that you can pick from.
All right.
Pick, Texas versus Clemson or Ohio State versus Tennessee.
I have more confidence in Tennessee being a bumbling fucking program against Ohio State than the other game. So Ohio State covers the spread against Tennessee.
And then of your 3 picks, which are you most confident in and want to make worth double points?
Fuck it. We're going to go SMU, Penn State. We're going to double down.
Oh, yeah. So everything rides on Penn State, SMU, basically.
Let's start off the day.
Okay,
Either I know straight up I'm winning the day, or I was never.
To quote Jerry Jones, why don't we just start the day by fucking up?
Hey, no.
So for me, real quick, I'm going to take Tennessee and SMU to cover. I don't know if they're going to win those games, but I think they'll both cover. And I got Texas straight up winning, and I'm going to double that Texas straight up winning.
Oh, okay. Very, 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 very confident in the Texas Longhorns.
This round, I am.
But you're worried about the Scatabo.
I could see more chaos happening against other teams for some reason.
Would it piss you off to lose to the Big 12?
No.
Even though it's a team that was not a Big 12 team.
No, like if anything, I'm more okay losing to them.
Yeah,
You
if
know
it
how
would have been
embarrassing it would've
TCU
been
or
if
Baylor.
Baylor came in here and beat us in the playoff.
That's
All
true.
right. Well, that's our first week. We'll do the same exact style for the next week, and then in the semis and the championships, obviously. Well, in the semis you only have to pick one of the games, one of the two, and then the final you'll just pick the final. So, yeah, so that'll be just a little bit different style of picks for us. Our NFL picks we've been doing just straight up wins and losses all year, so I thought we'd mix it up just a bit, get some.
Let's get some real degeneracy where real degenerates make their money, and that's on college football.
College foosball. Some excuses. I forgot about that one. Forgot that was a part of it. Some excuse that. So the teams that missed. The teams that missed. Alabama. Some excuses. Miami. An unfortunate casualty, I'll admit. I enjoyed watching them, even though they're probably not that good.
It is weird that Clemson. It's weird that Clemson gets in over them. I get it, but it's weird.
It's weird. Ole Miss, should have done it. Should have done a better job.
I do love the reactions people have to some of this. Where it's like, how is this even allowed? I'm like, have you seen like the 7-9 Seahawks make the playoffs all the time? This happens all the time in every other sport.
Oh yeah. No, if anything, it's traditional, and I like it.
Yeah, this isn't European. We're not just gonna play all the games and decide.
Scar. I would have liked to see it for the morale, but their team wouldn't have been good enough.
The chaos would have been fun.
And BYU, I mean, it's your fault. You really should have been here, BYU, but you're not. So, sucks. Other notable bowl games before we wrap up the college foosing section here. One that already happened last night. Memphis beat West Virginia in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl here in the DFW area. Scooters Coffee.
All right.
Never had Scooters Coffee.
I've driven by some.
But that is who sponsored it.
In Louisville, over by where I used to live. I might be wrong though.
Tonight, while we're recording, the Art of Sport LA Bowl is taking place. Between the
Scooters is one of those like real tiny. I think it's like a drive-through only type coffee places. If I'm not
fuck
mistaken.
with it.
All right.
That's Cal versus UNLV happening tonight at the SoFi Stadium. Art of Sport. Art of Sport. I don't know what that is, but Art of Sport. Not the Art of War.
Art of Sport.
Art of Sport. Art of Sport Bowl.
How about Art of Sport Gambling?
Body care for athletics.
All right.
Daily
Sounds
essential
good.
body and skin care products for athletes.
Such an LA sponsorship. I love it. On Friday, if you're someone who doesn't want to watch the college football playoff for whatever reason, you have Tulane versus Florida in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl.
If you're a real college football fan, you'll be watching that.
Let me say that again. Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl.
That's a mouthful.
I don't do those woke playoff games.
God damn.
That is in Tampa Bay at the Pirate Ship.
Cool. I'd like to play there.
I would too. Yeah, I feel that. Sometimes Tampa Bay not the greatest, but the Pirate Ship's cool. The Rate Bowl.
You want to enunciate that a little better?
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's
the Rate Bowl.
Tom, right?
Rate Bowl.
Tim, Tom, Time, T.
Yeah, they actually.
It'd be a weird sponsor if it was a two letter.
No, it's actually always been this. They were able to get with Courtney Love and work out the rights to change the song. So the Rate Bowl. Rutgers K-State is who's going to be in the Rate Bowl. And guess where the Rate Bowl is going to be?
Oh, I don't want to guess.
I have too many jokes in my head, so I'm going to you just tell me the answer here.
Not Pittsburgh, not New York, not Denver, but Chase Field in Arizona.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong with that? I guess I'm missing what's going on here.
No, it's just at a baseball field. I mean, they do this a lot, but I just thought it was interesting that Chase Field.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I did make 3 jokes prior to that.
I don't
You have to know
watching
those.
guys play football on baseball. I'm so used to that from my childhood with Oakland and
Well,
who else did it? Miami, maybe? No, not Miami.
Miami did have it for a second,
Okay.
I think. Yeah, maybe they did. Are you going to be watching the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl?
I got tired.
I wouldn't miss it for the world, Bethke.
Well, it is funny because this is at Allegiant Stadium.
It's
so
also
obviously,
because it's a company based in McKinney, Texas.
And guess who's playing in it? The Texas Aggies and the USC Trojans.
Oh, yeah.
Matchup.
Yeah, a battle of should-have-beens. Well, we know Patrick will be in on this one. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium.
Here's a stat: USC 3-0 all time against A&M.
Nice.
Ooh. Including 2 bowl games, I guess.
Well, Lincoln Riley needs to make it 4-0 because shit could hit the fan quickly for him.
They haven't played since '77. Huh.
Oof. In the Bad Boy Mowers Bowl, you're going to get Nebraska and Boston College at Yankee Stadium.
Bad Boy Mowers?
The Bad Boy Mowers.
Yeah.
No affiliation with Diddy, I assume.
What about the Bad Boys?
No, in a different city.
Like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
No, that's a different city too. That's Miami.
They got a cool looking website. I like this video. Very professionally done.
Is that mower a bad boy?
It looks pretty heavy duty. I mean,
it's a bad boy mower.
Honestly, if you just Photoshop the wheels off it, it kind of just looks like a sci-fi vehicle. So, like someone just be hovering around.
Oh yeah, that's one of those 0 turns right there. Yeah, that's real nice.
Ooh,
okay.
Tractors. And vehicles. Come on.
I did not clip the video, but we will have another Pop-Tarts Bowl, Iowa State, Miami, in Orlando.
Yeah, brother.
We have a trophy with a football with Pop-Tarts, a toaster popping out.
I guess I'm hoping it's a little tongue-in-cheek how they're like, they got a toaster inside a football. I'm like, I'm pretty sure football toasters have existed since the 70s. I might be wrong, but
yeah, I think NFL even had like branded toasters where you get your own favorite team logo on, like toasting into the bread.
Yeah, I just googled football toaster and got a billion options. I mean, it does look cool, and I'm glad that Pop-Tart's really leaning into being an actual sponsor and not just a name. I like that.
So you're not going to watch the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl between Miami, Ohio, and Colorado State?
I mean, if they could get some better teams. Snoop couldn't get any better teams in his own bowl.
Snoop Dogg said, in the Arizona Bowl?
It's the Arizona Bowl sponsored by Snoop Dogg?
In Tucson, Arizona, too. Not even, yeah. So
couldn't get an
LA
big
stadium
for the guy.
Okay, then maybe if you're too snobby for that, you're gonna watch the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
You didn't give us the full name of that bowl game.
Wait, what is the full name?
The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice.
Oh my god!
Now it makes some more sense. I was like,
I was unaware.
His own name. Like,
I was unaware that it was presented by Gin and Juice. But that makes sense. You got the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. That one is just by the name, but obviously Kellogg's owns that branding.
And I like that. I like using a subsect of your brand like that. That's great.
Louisville, Washington, and El Paso. So two teams that kind of have been forgotten about this season. And then a stadium that looks really cool because it has mountains behind it. And then the final bowl game that we need to talk about, the Serve Pro First Responders Bowl at SMU Stadium on the 3rd. I will not be in town. I will be still on a little vacay that Friday. So
January 3rd?
January 3rd. Yeah, I might have said that wrong, but it's January 3rd.
Right, I was just confirming. That's one I could technically get to physically.
Texas State, the Mighty Mean Green. It has not been a good transfer portal season for the Mean Green. Lost the starting quarterback, lost the starting wide receiver. Other issues, I'm sure there's other players probably moving and going. Have gotten some good transfer players, some interesting things for next season. However, that does not help Eric Morris and the boys in the First Responders Bowl. I don't think Texas State has had as much hemorrhaging, so I am a little worried that they're going to go ahead and beat our asses, and we're going to extend the bowl losing streak. Bowls. UNT goes to a bowl. Take the L. It's like when I was in high school, we would go to the playoffs, and just every time, playoffs was an ass whooping, but it was a championship ass whooping. Like, we were so bad that if you made it to that first game, that was a title, because you knew whatever fucking prep school from Dallas was about to beat the ever living brakes off of us in the first playoff game. So that's kind of where it is here for the UNT Mean Green. I don't. It doesn't feel like they're going to bring home one, but we're going to watch and we're going to hope anyway. Yeah, and that's college foosball. I believe I've used up all the stupid clips I have. I believe that we have a lot more football now. We're going to be able to cover college football well into most of January, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, we don't crown a champion until the end of January, basically, like the 20th of January. So lots to continue to talk about. Next week, it'll be very hyper-focused, thankfully, so we won't have a lot of other stuff.
I can't wait to watch Texas lose a title game the day right around my birthday. That'll be fun. Just like all those times I saw Vikings get destroyed in conference championship games on my birthday or near my birthday.
Yep. Well,
Beautiful.
There you go. Big football pushing back into your early January when you should be prime hockey season. All right.
Yep. Well, we'll wrap this little guy up here. And I almost said the exact same thing I said at the end of that last one.
You should have.
Myself right back into that. We'll be back with some NFL talk in just a minute.
You reap the fruit of your selfish ways. You gonna lose all your fancy foosball games, and you're gonna fail your big exam because school is
the devil. Everything is the devil to you, mama. Well, I like school, and I like football, and I'm gonna keep doing them both because they make me feel good.